Languages to music. Languages to music. Languages to music. Languages to music. Welcome everybody to Swahili through music, and today's guest is Temu, calling in from Tanzania. Welcome, Chi. Thanks for being with us today. How are you?
Thank you. I'm feeling good. Thank you. Yeah.
So Chi is Tanzanian by way of Senegal, a nomadic songstress with amazingly diverse music, who I had the pleasure of listening to live at a real live gig about, what, 2 years ago now?
Yeah, something like 2 years, 2019. Yeah.
2019, summertime at a gig with lots of people outside. I'll cry if I think about it too much. Those were the days. Those were the days. So wonderful to have you with us today. And
Thanks for having me.
yeah, I'm just going to pick your brain on music and language and Swahili and your work and all of these things. So please tell us, what is your early music memory, your earliest music memory, and what got you started into singing, playing?
Earliest music memory. So when I was younger, we lived in America. During the MTV actually played music videos days. And yeah, I think it was like Michael Jackson, I wanna rock with you all night, and that sort of vibe. Yeah. And like a really weird backtrack. And I just used to pretty much try and hug the screen whenever MTV was on. And that was just music, all this music and the colors and I guess the pumpinancy of it all just took over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those late 80s, early 90s music videos. Mine is, I don't remember which is first, but George Clinton and Whitney Houston. I just remember seeing them on the TV and just being transfixed, like, what's going on? This is magic. So, which languages do you speak? Have you studied? Want to learn? Tell us.
English is my first language because I'm from Tanzania, but again, lived in lots of different places. I have learned a bit of Spanish in the past. French is there. I mean, to be fair, I read and write French better than I speak it. It's been a long time since I spoke it. And then Swahili, yeah, which I'm also still a novice at my own language, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I've just started lessons a month ago.
Yeah.
And, after admiring it for years, and it's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
It is a beautiful language.
Who are your favorite Swahili-speaking artists, or are there any particular songs that are your faves?
So I do have artists in mind for different reasons. Sauti Soul, because I guess they have such catchy tunes, but they're also something that I could fully understand, without me having to think that my Swahili is not there and stuff. I also just really like the crop of artists that are young and up and coming. I know that you have had Frankie Mason on your show. Something like Frankie, there's Dalmisia, Max Cortez, also another darling that I like to watch, Salma. She's got this track out called Temu. I think everyone should go check that out. So there's all these young up and coming, so who I like the mix of Swahili and English. For someone like me, it's great for me to be able to move in the realms and understand better what's happening in the Swahili when I have it mixed to the English.
Yeah, Tanzania really seems to have a mega music scene. Just the short time I was there, it just seemed like artists for days.
Yeah, for sure. There's such a lot of talent going on. There's a lot of people who are just trying to find what kind of sound suits them as well, which I like nowadays. I think before people were so stuck on just the bongo flavor beats and stuff. Now there's this, as you know, the artists I just mentioned are all doing their crop of their different kinds of hip hop and R&B, but mixed to that Swahili vibe. And there's those cheeky lyrics only Swahili could bring out, sort of thing.
Yeah, I was talking with Frankie about, he was saying how some things you can say something in English and it'll just be kind of like blah, but if you say the same thing in Swahili, it's like really powerful. So, yeah. What do you like most about Swahili, and do you have any favorite words or expressions you use a lot?
I like just how, like, in Swahili, like a small thing can mean so much. I think, like, when you take little phrases and it could be used for so many different things. I don't know if that's because we have like so few words to choose from, so you have to be creative with the way you use it, or what goes deep into that. But I do like that. I love the cheeky nature of Swahili, like the way people talk here. There's a lot of like humor in what people say and things, and so they use the Swahili to that advantage, and it's fun to be around. But in terms of favorite phrases, I did have one, but I do not even remember how to say it, and it's just about life continuing. I can't even right now. But also another simple favorite phrase is just pole. I like use it way
Ole.
too much. I think everyone's anything happens, I'm pole. I don't even know if I'm saying it normal or sarcastically anymore. It's just happens.
Pole, does that mean
It's
easy?
like, yeah, you could be like it's easy, or you're sorry for something. Like the breadth of the word pole is just amazing.
Okay, yeah, they had a music festival here in Belgium, I think, called Pole Pole
Yes.
a while back. Oh, I can't wait to get to a music festival again. Oh my, oh my goodness.
Oh.
So please tell me a little bit about your experience learning languages at school. For me, I think it's funny, I kind of went into language teaching because I always had terrible experiences learning languages at school. I never felt like I was, good at it, or I didn't
Yeah.
understand the kind of structure and exams. And I had teachers who'd mete out punishments like, write this French grammar thing 50 times over. And like,
Yeah.
I never really enjoyed language learning at school, but I really love it now that I've kind of figured out what works for me in terms of learning. So, yeah, do you have any teachers or classes that stand out for you, or do you remember, what's worked for
Yeah.
you learning languages?
I love languages growing up. I did French, Spanish, Latin. Did Latin. That's like,
Wow.
isn't it? I mean, when I first started on like French and Latin, it was very much like just trying to beat everyone else at verbs and grammar and stuff. I don't know how much is really entering there because I love the language, or I just love trying to beat everyone. Um, but I really took to languages quite easily. Latin was my favorite just because we got the full spread of like the Greek and the Latin and the Roman stories like mixed in, all the gods and stuff like that, as well as having to learn the language. And so that was really exciting. That's why I kept on until 16 when people should have given up.
Wow.
But yeah, and so for me, like learning language in that structured way made sense. And I took to it more. Like I think if you put me in the middle of somewhere, it's gonna take me a while to pick up a language. Like I think with Swahili, as I'm learning right now and picking up from my surroundings, I think I need to mix it in with a bit more of a structured, like these are the tenses, these are whatever, because that's how my brain tends to work those things in better.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it's really important people kind of get exposure to a range so they see what works for them, what doesn't work for them. And now, well, a lot of us here, not so much in Tanzania, but a lot of
Yeah.
us here have a lot of time at home. So there's, I think, more people diving into kind of teaching themselves the language,
Yeah.
and checking out all these YouTubers and people teaching online. So little by little by little, what's your experience of, you speak several languages and you're living in Dar, and what's your experience of multilingualism or mixing languages or code switching? I remember someone mentioning Sheng, I think that's in Kenya, and then this kind of English Swahili mix in Tanzania. Is it just
Yeah. Swanglish.
Wanglish? That's it.
Swanglish.
That's it. How
Yeah.
much does that feature in your kind of day to day?
I mean, to be honest, I used to do copywriting, and a
Hmm.
lot of the clients that we have nowadays, because of the urban movement and so many youth, are all about like, can you do the Swanglish, put the Swahili and English together and make it make sense, sort of thing. So I went through a couple of years of like having that be part of my day to day. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think it does happen a lot more, obviously, in the cities, and if you're out of the city, that people are mixing it up and they're taking these little phrases from English and they're melding it with that vibe of the Swahili. So it's out
Mhm.
there. Hmm.
I hope I can. I'm taking lessons once a week, but I don't think that's enough to learn in the next few years. So I'm gonna have to step it up. I guess.
Swahili, like I know that like a lot of people that I've talked to and stuff, where like even when I'm talking about learning it, say Swahili is quite an easy one to learn when you're having these lessons and stuff. Yeah, it's not.
Hmm.
There's a lot more difficult languages out there. Swahili's a good one.
Yeah, yeah, it's really, and so much great music to choose from. My goodness,
Oh yeah.
so much great music. Do you think musicians have an advantage in language learning at all?
I mean, I think I do and I don't. I do, because I've learned lots of different tracks of different languages without knowing what the hell I'm saying, and then you pick it up because very easily, because I think putting a melody to what you're saying just makes it easier to keep in your mind, right? Instead of just learning out words and tenses. If you've got a whole sentence you're already learning, and you're already learning what that means as well, and you're putting it to a beat, like how sometimes in school you're taught to like learn science
Yeah.
things through music. Now you're learning languages through music. It's the same sort of, it's going to be easier for you to pick it
Mhm.
up.
Well, I guess I don't know if you're traveling much these days, but
Mhm.
when travel was easier, did you find that it was quite easy for you to pick up, basic expressions when you were in a new place?
Yeah, I'd also make a note to try and do that as well, because I think it's to learn other people's languages is just a respect to other people's cultures, and respect that they will in return like give to you for having known that. Like, I think people treat you much nicer if you actually attempt to communicate with them on their level, because you come into their space. So I think it's an advantageous thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. And I think most people are really appreciative or really kind of supportive and encouraging when you try and learn the language. I can't say I've had that too much with French, to be honest.
Actually, that's true. That's the one language.
That's the one language where you'll
It is
be
the one.
a dumbass until the day you die because
They're
you
not gonna give you any time.
say a la instead of a le, or but
Yeah.
it just keeps me striving, keeps me striving. Is there a style of music that you love, even though you don't understand the lyrics? So, for example, I don't know, Brazilian tune in particular, or have friends that are obsessed with K-pop, even though they don't speak Korean. Or yeah, is there any language that just appeals to you purely because of how it sounds?
Mentioned Brazil, and actually, there's this TV show on Netflix that I got obsessed with.
You've gone very quiet, Chi. Can you come a little?
Sorry.
There we go.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was actually talking about Brazil. I was saying that there's a TV show on Netflix. I've forgotten the name of, my bad. But they had all this Brazilian music from like the 60s and the 70s, like the girl from Ipanema style. And actually, I just got obsessed with that for a good while. Like, I don't understand it, but it sounds so beautiful with the like acoustic
Mm.
guitar background that sounds all chill and island vibes. And the
Yeah.
it's like beautiful to smell.
Is it this lady who opens up a club?
Yes, that's the
Yes.
one.
Yeah, I love that too. I've watched all of those. There's another great thing on Netflix right now by a rapper called Emicida. I have to check what it's called, but he just does a whole history of Brazilian music up until his music, and a history of kind of social justice people in Brazil. It's just wonderful. I want to watch it again just to kind of make a list of other things to look up. It's
To
really
look up,
powerful.
yeah.
Emicida. Cool. Well, what is coming up for your next music project since you are in a city that still has gigs?
So I host an event here called She and Friends. It's a curated open mic night with poetry, music, and comedy. So I will be hosting that again on the 6th of March
Nice.
at Trinity. I'm so excited for that. And then hopefully again later in March, we'll be hosting a different version of it during the daytime out in Bagamoyo. So changing up the scene. Yeah. And then also I'm going to start recording an album in March. So
Wow,
yeah,
congratulations.
thank you. I thought it was about time.
Yeah, what are your main inspirations going into this album? Because in your events you blend music and poetry and spoken word, no?
Yeah, true. And actually, for this, I am gonna have some poetry in there as well as music, and it's I'm basing it basically on the Katsugai theory in Japan of like when like the porcelain breaks and they fill it up with gold. So I kind of want it to be
Mm.
about like my emotional journey and dealing maybe with some like depression and dark spots and how like what's come out at the other side and a year of a lot of self-reflection and stuff that's kind of that has erupted into, and so put that whole concept down into an album base, thinking more
Amazing.
R&B sounds. Yeah.
Cool. Well, look forward to be bumping it on Languages to Music Radio. So, Asante Sana, thank you so much for your time, Chi,
Thank you.
and I hope to be live in the audience at one of your gigs real soon.
Yes, I hope so too.
Real
Come
soon.
back to
And
TZ.
yeah, oh my gosh, as soon as I can, as soon as I can. So good luck with your album recording, and thanks so much for taking part in this Swahili Through
Pleasure.
Music podcast series.
Thanks. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, my dear. Have a great day.
Bye.
Languages to music.